This racetrack used to start the Wawa Cup Series in the first 2 seasons and gave us 2 exhilarating openers in 2023 and 2024. For the first time ever, though, in the Wawa Cup Series, the Wawa 400 is later in the season, the 7th race of the season here in the 2025 season. But this race is going to be as good as it ever has been, if not better. We have had 6 different winners so far this season, a lot of very fascinating races and very fascinating winners. But this racetrack is one that favors the best. And today we will see 67 laps with these 42 drivers looking to be the best here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's going to be a fun race, as we always know, the first of 2 races this season at the Homestead-Miami Speedway in the Wawa Cup Series. It's the Wawa 400, race 7 of the season in the 2025 Wawa Cup Series. Hello everybody, this is AG here, and welcome to the Homestead-Miami Speedway here in Homestead, Florida. We are here for race number 7 on a Friday night. Like I said, this used to be the opening race of the season. It's now race number 7. But it is still a big race to win. Obviously, the title sponsor sponsoring the race, it's Homestead-Miami Speedway. This race always cooks. We're coming back here again for the penultimate race of the season during the Daytona weekend. But tonight, it's all about who can get started on the right foot at the beginning of this race and carry this momentum throughout the rest of the season. This is a big race to do well at, especially at this point in the season. We're 7 races in, a lot of points in the ratings for the teams and the drivers, and we're going to see who's good and who's not, as we have already seen in qualifying, with Duncan Ward winning his 2nd pole in a row. I'm joined alongside Caleb Rose and Matt Tuck for the call of tonight's race, and Caleb, I'm going to start off with you. Your team didn't really have the best of runs in qualifying. Nicholas starts all the way back in the field in 37th. Logan Williams on the outside lane there in 16th. What do those drivers and what do guys who start deep in the field need to do here at Homestead to have an opportunity in moving up in the field and having a shot at the race victory here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway?
Yeah, it's definitely probably going to be a bit of a tough hurdle to overcome starting towards the mid to the back of the field. But, Homestead, it is a very great racetrack. There's a lot of passing here, so they definitely have an opportunity to try and make their way up towards the front. I would say, though, they want to try and make their way up there as quick as possible before everything kind of gets spread out, and once we get to those pit cycles, because that's where this race is probably going to be won on pit road, if this thing does stay green at the end. But, yeah, we'll have to just wait and see how everything plays out. But I'm really looking forward to see how everything plays out, because last year, of course, this race was the season opener, and everything was still equal ratings, and now we're here a bit later in the season, so the ratings should be a lot more fleshed out. So, interested to see how this race will compare to last season's, but hey, I know one thing's for certain, this race will definitely cook. There's no doubt about that.
And Matt, I know you like the fact that this race is deeper in the season and the ratings mean a lot more. Of course, you got your driver there, Daniel Paulus Jr. starting 7th. Ludovic Charette starts in the 2nd position, but Blaine Keys is also up there. And we always see in the Truck Series, this is the finale race for the Truck Series every year, that we always see the best drivers run up front. Do you think we're going to see that here tonight with Blaine and Ludovic? Travis Crampton, Paulus up there, drivers we expect to run well, starting up in the top 10 here tonight?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a tough going for some of these guys early on. I mean, you see 2nd, 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then you go a few rows back there. I mean, I see the 15, the 06 who won last weekend, Nathan Smith, Logan Williams is there. So there's a lot of big guns in the field here tonight. I think, though, we all know who they're going to be chasing. I won't say it, but we all know who they're going to be chasing. I mean, she should probably be on a 3 wins in a row run right now and isn't. But it's going to be fun here tonight.
And, of course, she has come close a couple of times and could have won last week if it weren't for Nathan Smith taking out Trey Bartow. But she is 2nd in the points. And, of course, we're talking about our defending champion, Ludovic Charette, who starts outside pole for this race. 19 points behind Travis Crampton coming into this one, though. Yes, Ludovic asked that whole Gradden Autosport team. They really do believe that she should be a lot higher in that regard. But, hey, still looking for that first win of the season, which she's run well. This could be the night. But she's got her arch rival starting in 3rd in Blaine Keys, who has not necessarily had the best of seasons coming into this one. But Blaine has won the Truck Series race here before. He actually almost won this race last year in the opener. Almost beat Avery Alford in that one. He starts 3rd tonight. But talking about all these other drivers, Duncan Ward led the most laps last week at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway from the pole. He's starting on the pole 2 races in a row. watch out for Duncan Ward in this race and throughout the rest of the season. But right now, they're all chasing Travis Crampton, who is, of course, the points leader. 210 points towards the championship for the driver, starting 5th here tonight. Ludovic Schredt, 19 points behind. And to give a huge shout-out to Bruno Diacmo. Great season for the Trackhouse Racing driver, 29 points behind Crampton coming into this one. Phoenix winner Jack Haas has been on a tear as of late, 35 points behind. Alex Sanventali, top 5 in points, 37 behind. You got Logan Williams, Bryce Egan, Drew Webb, LJ Semedo, and Avery Alford in the top 10 right there. Kirsten Bell, Zayden Davidson, who is in this race. He's only missed one race so far this season. He has had a great season in that 00 machine. Watch out for him. If he makes a lot of these races, he could actually have an opportunity and making it into the chase the way he's been running. Laura Chung, Duncan Ward, Thomas Troxell, Isaac Nichols, and then you get the Blaine Keys in 17. So many good drivers up in the top 20 in points at this point. And there's only 12 spots for the chase as well. So top 10 in points making on. 2 highest drivers in points with wins outside the top 10. It is going to be tough making it into the chase this season, and who knows how it's all going to go down until we get to the Atlanta Motor Speedway again in the end of June. But tonight we're at Homestead-Miami Speedway. We're here in late March, but we're still here on a Friday night. It's the Wawa 400, and Duncan Ward's going to lead us off in the 23 alongside Ludovic Schredt, Blaine Keys, and Laura Chung make up row number 2, and the Fast 6 was with Travis Crampton and Brad Stover as well. And Stover will start in the 6th position. Daniel Paulus Jr. going to start 7th alongside Philip Torres, and then Bryce Egan, Angel Gutierrez round out the top 10 starting positions here tonight. Thomas Troxell starts all the way back in the 40th position. Atlanta winner Isaac Nichols starts 39th. Nicholas Sambadio all the way back in there in 37th. Tanner Parton as well, another driver we have seen have some good runs this season. He's all the way back in 35th. But it is a long race, 67 laps here at Homestead, and we expect about a 38 to 40 lap fuel run here tonight for these drivers. Let's go ahead and get these drivers to roll off here from the Wawa 400 at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And Caleb, then Matt, who do you guys think's going to victory lane here tonight in South Florida?
Well, he's had a pretty rough start to the season, like we kind of mentioned pre-race, but a good qualifying session there from the number 32 of Blaine Keys. Maybe he's kind of finally woken up from that little slump that he's had in the first part of the season. And like you said, he's won here before. I think he can do it again. Give me the number 32 of Blaine Keys. Finally can have his first win of the season here tonight.
Well, if you look on paper, 6 winners in 6 races, but to be honest with you guys, it shouldn't be 6 winners in 6 races. It should probably only be about 2 or 3. The driver who should have all those wins, outside front row, is going to go to victory lane tonight.
We'll have to see. Both of you picking the big guns here tonight. Hey, give me Duncan Ward. I think that 23's got a great shot. Travis Crampton, points leader's got a great shot. Daniel Paulus Jr. Hey, Laura Chung was runner-up at Atlanta. She's going to have an opportunity at it here tonight as well. You also got Bryce Egan, who's had a great season so far. He's 7th in the points coming into this race. He's been very strong. He's got an opportunity. Who knows? There's so many drivers that can win this race here tonight, but we got 67 laps to determine it. Pace car is down. Here we go. Used to always call it the opening race of the season. Now it's the 7th race, but I tell you what, we've been looking forward to this one all season long. Here we go. Duncan Ward's going to lead us off, and we're green flag racing here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Points leader almost got the lap led. That was Blaine Keys, who gets the lap led, though, on the first lap of the race. And what a start for Blaine there from that inside lane. Here comes Bryce Egan to the inside of Daniel Paulus Jr. Trey Bartow on that inside lane as well. Braden Perez in the outside lane there. Ludovic Schredt slipping back just a little bit in the 51. Good chance for her to really cycle it back through, though, as they're still side by side for the race lead. Almost a split there, 3 wide for the lead. Duncan Ward trying to split those guys. Can't quite do it, and Blaine's going to lead 2 in a row here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
I did say you potentially want to try and make your way up here towards the front as early on as possible while everyone is still kind of bunched up together like this, but Blaine Keys wasted absolutely no time ducking underneath Duncan Ward there, trying to take the lead away going into 1, but Oh boy, it's getting crazy here up front as everybody's trying to go for the same real estate. Here comes the 9. Bryce Egan looking to take that race lead away as Keys gets shuffled up all the way to the outside. And how about this 4 car of Trey Bartzo. Don't know why I was about to say Tanner Parton. I guess they both start with T, so who knows. But Trey Bartzo, he made up a couple spots here on the start of this race. Now trying to take a peek inside Duncan Ward and Blaine Keys, looking to potentially move up into the 3rd position.
And Trey Bartz is a guy to watch out for in this race. He's got a chip on his shoulder from what happened to him last week. Got spun by the eventual winner. That was not a good moment for him, but here he is, top 5 now on the 4 machine. It'd definitely be something if that car won this race. Daniel Paulus Jr. be something that this car won this race as well. Of course, I know you have a lot of high expectations for Paulus going into this season, Matt, and didn't get off to the right foot. Got a top 10 last week at Las Vegas, and here he is running 5th right now ahead of Blaine Keys and Ludovic Charette at the moment. As for the race lead, there goes Bryce Egan to the inside of Travis Crampton. We're going to get our 3rd different leader of this race, and Bryce is going to get it right here on lap 5.
Yeah, Egan in this Trackhouse number 9 machine's been really quick to start the season. Duncan Ward's looking strong. Bartow, I think, is going to take advantage here. And if he slides that 23 up, it's going to be Paulus and Keys who are going to be able to take advantage of the opportunity here. Ludovic's falling back kind of quickly here now. I mean, Matthew Huber's gone by here. Bruno Diacomo's gone by. Philip Torres, Christian Master in the 86. And now here comes last week's winner, Nathan Smith, his pace has been improving, and don't look now, a couple cars back. Sam Adio's moving, Jack Haas is moving, some guys are moving their way from the back to the front here.
There's definitely a lot of strong drivers in this field in the Wawa Cup Series this year, and looking at who started up front in this race, I really can't give a good definite answer on who's going to win. Even with as deep as the season as we're in at this point, with how many of the ratings adjustments and how many points have gone into the ratings at this point, these guys are still right on each other. How about Kirsten Bell? She's got a chip on her shoulder from this race a year ago. She was the dominant driver in this race a year ago and ended up getting caught from the pit cycle. We're hoping that doesn't happen here tonight, of course, but Kirsten absolutely wants to turn things back around a little bit. Not a good run at Las Vegas. Of course, not a good run at Las Vegas for a lot of guys last week. A lot of them got caught up in that massive accident. And I don't know, Matt, was it Daniel or was it Ludovic? I mean, pseudo teammates there. You all make the decision.
Listen, every masterpiece has its cheap copy. I mean, you've been around long enough, you know what I'm talking about.
Here comes Blaine Keys for 2nd on Trey Bartow. Here, just like in this one, both the United Alliance cars there up on the top 2 positions, and Bryce Egan kind of pulling away from the field right now in this 9 machine. And Bryce Egan's a guy who, his time is coming. His time is coming to get his first career Wawa Cup Series win. He's got a good opportunity here tonight, but I tell you what, this 93 at Kirsten Bell, she looks very quick here. We're on lap 10, already up to the 3rd position, and she did not start anywhere near the top 10 in this race.
Fast so far for the 93 of Bell and Evans Ross Racing as a whole, like we were talking about a little earlier. Nicholas Samadio and Jack Haas, they're both kind of making their way through the field, started deep down, and I'd say they've probably just about cracked the top 20 right now, so they're doing good here so far. But there you go, Samadio running in 16th, Haas following him in 17th, so they're definitely doing what they need to do right now, making up some ground. But yeah, Kirsten Bell looking fast here so far. Like you said, definitely got a chip on her shoulder after last year's race here, and she's doing really well so far. But yeah, Bryce Egan looking really strong out in front, but oh boy, he might have some company back there. Look out, here he comes.
When will Blaine Keys get his first win? It's not a matter of if he'll get a win this season. It's definitely a win, and we know that with Blaine driving for Pacific Racing this year. For Pacific Racing, historically one of the best teams in the Wawa Cup Series. Of course, they had Thomas Troxel and Chase Buck, who drove this car 2 years. Chase Buck, of course, a Chase driver 2 years ago, and Chase also took this car to Victory Lane in Montreal last year. And Blaine Keys looking to get one for Brendan Wilmington, looking to get his first one for Brendan Wilmington, and I feel like Blaine has found his spot in the Wawa Cup Series now as well. He's been with 3 different teams all 3 seasons of the Wawa Cup Series. He's won multiple races with both Dracoan Racing Enterprises and then Racing Motorsports last year. But I have a feeling that Brendan Wilmington's going to do all he can to keep Blaine behind the wheel of that 32 going forward. And a win here tonight, of course, will solidify that, and we know how good he is. How about this? Daniel Paulus Jr. to the inside of Duncan Ward and Kirsten Bell. You got Travis Crampton. And how about last week's winner, Nathan Smith, looking to be the first 2-time winner this season. And, know, he's right behind the guy he spun to really give him an opportunity to get that win. How about that? You know, it's like we're at Las Vegas all over again. You gotta watch out here. They're 3 wide ahead of him. And Nathan Smith is pulling no punches out there on the racetrack, looking to get his second career win on the channel. That race that he got last week was his first career win on the channel. He's looking for number 2 here tonight. He's got a good shot of doing so. He's inside the top 10. Shout out to Millennium Motorsports, both of their drivers inside the top 10. Angel Gutierrez and Braden Perez, both with strong runs. Nicholas Samadeo's been running very strong here tonight, working his way through the field, and so has been Isaac Nichols, who started deep in the field as well for this one. The Atlanta winner looking pretty strong for his second win of the season.
Yeah, crazy thing to note, even with Isaac Nichols starting on essentially the last row of the grid, there's 4 GRT cars in front of Ludovic Charette right now, which is a crazy thing to think about. But Nichols sliced and diced his way through the field. Matthew Huber's held his ground. Nathan Smith is on fire, and Daniel Polish is doing a great job at the front of this pack. So it has not been a good day for second in the points. I know Ludovic's not been happy with how the season's gone. I mean, I know it's not happy with second in the points, but the outcome should be a lot different. But I mean, the other 4 got to be very happy right now. I mean, if you're Max Davis, Nathan Smith is coming alive the past few weeks. Isaac Nichols is fantastic. Huber looks like he's better. I'm definitely, I'm happy with my 2 guys, so there's a lot to like there.
This has definitely been a fascinating race, no doubt about it, and there's so many of these strong drivers who I expect to win multiple races who are running up front. Hey, gotta give a shout out to Roberto Crown Jr. I tell you, they have some of the worst luck in this series. I feel bad for them, but you know what? They've got a solid run going right now, knock on wood. And they're about to crack the top 10 there in that 81 machine for Tracoan Racing Enterprises, right behind Nicholas Amadeo. Oh my God, there was contact there between Nichols and Crown going into the corner. And here comes Avery Alford, defending winner of the Wawa 400 there in the 13 machine. Of course, Team Williams has been an excellent team this season. And Duncan Ward, of course, still running in the top 5 right now. Zayden Davison's been doing all he's been doing, and Avery Alford, top 10 in points coming into this race. He started dead last here in this one, and he is fighting his way up to the top 10. As for the race lead, as Leonard Kochmer in the 41 had an issue, and he had a fuel leak. My goodness, tough break for those guys there at Racing Motorsports and Leonard Kochmer. They have not had the start to the season they were expecting, that is for sure. But it's just the way it goes sometimes, and the luck is especially all over the place in the first few races of the season. It has not been with Racing Motorsports and Leonard Kochmer, that is for sure. Egan holding off Blaine Keys for now, but they're allowing Duncan Ward and Kirsten Bell to pull right in here. There goes Kirsten for third, I should say, on Duncan Ward, and Blaine might finally take it away here from Bryce Egan on lap 20.
Egan's still doing a pretty good job there, holding on the outside of Blaine Keys, but Keys does have the nose ahead here going into turns 3 and 4. The inside lane, definitely the preferred line around here. You can kind of hold your own on the outside, but eventually the inside lane is going to prevail, and it looks like it is going to be the case there for the 32 of Blaine Keys, clearing for the race lead. And yeah, that definitely did allow Kirsten Bell and Duncan Ward to close on in, because now Bell is right on the back bumper of the 9 of Bryce Egan, even going for a move to the inside as they go down the back straightaway into 3 and 4. Egan tried to kind of shut the door there, but Bell was already there, forced it right back open. And now here comes the 93 of Kirsten Bell. We'll have to see if she potentially has anything here for this 32 of Keys.
Very solid race for Kirsten so far. She has worked her way very nicely. Nicholas Amadeo is now in the top 10, but I tell you what, Nathan Smith, this was a guy we knew that Parker Davis Enterprises was going to be good. Under the Grattan Alliance, we expected them to run well, but they have been the best team under the Grattan Alliance this season, I would argue. Got the 2 wins. Of course, Grattan officially has been doing pretty well up to this point, though they are not having a decent race for their standards. I know Drew Webb's a little bit further back in the field, and Ludovic Charette's mid-pack right now if they're starting outside pole, but Nathan Smith, Isaac Nichols, they have done an excellent job, and Nathan Smith may be our first 2-time winner this season. And you know what? He's really the only winner that we've had this season who is running up inside this top 10 right now. We're going to have to go back to Jack Haas there at 39 before we get to our next winner. Isaac Nichols right behind. Some 3 wide there in the back, with Thomas Troxel trying to move his way through the field. Not a good race for Troxel, the winner of the opening race of the season this year at Auto Club Speedway. still trying to figure a lot of it out back in here, still all each other. Trey Bartow really fell back in the 4. He was up in the top 3 not too long ago. Now he's fallen outside the top 30. Not entirely sure what happened to him right there. And, man, I hate to say this one. I hate to show this one to you, Caleb, but Logan Williams in the 95 also struggling mightily here tonight. All the way back there in the 38th position right now. That was after the good start that he had, and that is not at all what you guys want there at Appalachian Motorsports. Blaine Keys still holding on to the race lead. Kirsten Bell, Duncan Ward, Bryce Egan, Nathan Smith, the top 5. Daniel Paulus Jr., Miami native. Nicholas Samadino, this is his home race, and I don't think he's ever won here before on the channel. The all-time winningest driver, though that's actually that could tie here tonight. Blaine's going for win number 30 tonight, and I say that as he's getting passed for the race lead by Kirsten Bell, but Blaine is still very much in this to tie Samadino for the all-time wins list here tonight in this Wawa 400.
Definitely very well could. He's ran great so far here tonight, but just got passed there by the 93 of Kirsten Bell. And Samadino, he wants to try and defend that record. He's moving on up, looking to try and go to the outside here of the 54 of Daniel Paulus Jr. And now Keys stuck up on that outside lane. There goes potentially Bryce Egan, and now he under fire from the 23 of Duncan Ward. He definitely needs to try and get back down to that inside lane if he wants to try and stay here in the fight for the race lead. You've also got Nathan Smith in the 06, making his way up here. Daniel Paulus Jr. in the 54 there. Samadino going to get past there by 36, the 98, and potentially the 13 of Avery Alford. Speaking of which, great run for the 13 of Avery Alford. Like you said, started dead last in this race. And, you know, that's last year's race winner here. So a great run there for Avery Alford and just Team Williams as a whole. Duncan Ward has been up here all race, and Avery Alford's just been slicing and dicing his way through this field. So great showing so far here for Team Williams.
Really great showing for a lot of teams here tonight, but I think we expected a lot of these guys to run well this season. Hey, a shout out to Angel Gutierrez as well. Does have a win in the Wawa Cup Series, but has not historically run well altogether. So he's got a good opportunity here for Millennium Motorsports and Chase Harris's team. And Angel Gutierrez trying to rebound from, kind of a mid-start, 23rd in points. He's got a good shot at getting a good run here tonight, getting a second top 10 of the season. Bryce Egan, Blaine Keys, Duncan Ward, Nathan Smith, not quite halfway yet here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Of course, the cycle of pit stops will probably begin in about 8 laps. What do you want to do, Matt? Do you want to risk it, undercut, and maybe get caught under a yellow? We've seen that happen here before. Or do you wait and maybe cycle these guys a lap down and have an opportunity at the race victory? Kirsten Bell has absolutely got to be thinking about that right now, considering what happened to her last year.
Well, we saw in the Stock Car World Cup season opener, David Malukas almost pulled off a 3-stop strategy. Granted, there were some yellows that kind of caught out of strategy, but he was on a 3-stopper. And it almost worked out for him had that race had 2 more laps or so. So I think you kind of want to be jumping the gun here tonight. I know it can potentially burn you at the end of the run, but like if you're those two, if you're the 06 and the 54, I'm not sitting here waiting for Blaine. Oh, that's a little, why on earth did Blaine Keys just die off in the middle of the corner like that? But if I'm Nathan Smith and Daniel Paulus Jr., I'm not sitting there waiting and doing what these top 5 are doing. I want to jump on my own strategy. If I'm Samadino, I think the real guy that you have to start thinking about undercutting would be Samadino, because he's only about 2 seconds back. You can be the first guy down pit road, get a clean out lap. He could easily jump to the lead if he were to be the first guy down pit road.
I think it's important to note what happened in the truck race. If I'm not mistaken, it was the truck race finale. And forgive me, I actually do forget who was up front in that race, but whoever came down and overcut actually got the race victory in that one, if I'm not mistaken.
Rogel?
It was Rogel, wasn't it?
Because it was Rogel and Ludovic who had that.
I believe
really
you're right.
Crazy
it was
battle.
Rogel and Ludovic, and Rogel Dorn ended up getting the race victory, and he overcut that one on Ludovic, so that could be the case. It is a bit of a long run to the end after the cycle. And tire wear is definitely a factor here at Homestead-Miami Speedway, and you absolutely want to be as fresh as you can near the end of the run if it's going to be a green flag race. And this is generally a green flag racetrack, though the past 2 Wawa 400s we have had a caution right about the midway point. Well, here we are at the midway point. We have yet to get to the cycle. These guys are definitely thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. We've had it happen too many times this season. I don't want it to happen again. Kirsten Bell, though, out front in the 93. Great run for Blaine Keys is still very much in contention. So are all these drivers here. Daniel Paulus Jr., Nathan Smith, Duncan Ward, Bryce Egan. Our points leader, Travis Crampton's had a perfect night. He's kept this thing top 10 all night long. And he will remain the points leader if things stay the way they are. Gutierrez, Samadillo, here we go. Cycle is going to begin right here. Blaine's going to be the first one down. That is a very early stop for Blaine. He is going for the undercut here, and I don't know how well that's going to work for him in the long run because that's very early. But he may end up with the lead once this is all cycled through here, but the cycle has begun here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Definitely going to be interesting. Definitely like for this to go caution-free, but we'll just have to wait and see how everything plays out. But definitely a pretty interesting strategy there from Blaine Keys, as pit road's going to be really busy this time by. Just everybody make sure to get down cleanly. And you know what? It looks like we might be good. Knock on wood.
It's been a season.
This looks like this was the busy lap.
Auto Club and then Phoenix. I don't want it to happen here. We don't need it to happen here, guys. We need a clean cycle. Blaine's going to get off in the 32 machine. Duncan Ward's got that first pit stall again. Doesn't necessarily have to worry about that pit road issue that I was mentioning in qualifying yesterday with Las Vegas, Chicagoland, while we had that interesting pit stall, I should say, for the 97 of Tanner Parton. That was a very interesting moment there, Las Vegas. Nothing like that here. Daniel Paulus Jr., though, I think he's going to get off of this grid. Great job there out of the 54.
Wow.
Turner's a lap down, I do believe, unfortunately, the 47. You know, I really got to feel for Jesse Turner-Rogaldorn. I mean, I don't want to call out a team like this, but I think it's kind of obvious what's going on there. Turner and Rogel do not deserve that. The good thing for those guys, they're doing their ratings. They'll be back next year, and they're going to be with good teams next year. But tough break for those guys at this point of the season to see that. Blaine Keys here. Daniel, that was a great stop out of Daniel. If he's going to end up ahead of the guy who undercut him right here, and he's going to have one lap fresher tires as well, one lap fresher Michelins on the Goodyears on that 32 machine. And then of this group, there's Kirsten Bell, who may just get out ahead of all of them. Of course, she was the race leader once the cycle began, and she's going to have the race lead here. But Blaine Keys, Paulus, Bryce Egan, they're going to have a great advantage here coming to that 93 machine. They're going to have all the speed here. Blaine's been out there a couple of laps. He's got that thing wired up. He's looking inside on Kirsten Bell. And, hey, you know what, guys? When I mentioned this last week, we had a wreck. We got through the cycle cleanly. And Kirsten Bell is your race leader. Blaine Keys, Daniel Paulus Jr., Bryce Egan, all on each other. Sam Badillo is 5th now. Then you got the Williams team there. Duncan Ward and Avery Alford, 6th and 7th. Travis Crampton, Bruno Diacomo, and Nathan Smith, the top 10. How about Troxel? Got around there, the 36 of Angel Gutierrez. He is now in the 12th position. Of course, like I mentioned, Jesse Turner is, in fact, a lap down. As it's getting crazy up here. Paulus around Blaine Keys, and now he's trying to get around Kirsten Bell for this race lead. Bryce Egan is here. This is going to bring Nicholas Sambadia right in, and we're going to have ourselves a classic race here. A classic fight to the finish in this Wawa 400 at Homestead.
I think it's the first time I can ever remember in the Wawa Cup Series history the 54 not fumbling the pit cycle, and it might play out to their benefit here. Paulus down the straightaway to the inside of the 93. Can't quite fully get there. He's got a shot at a run if he can set it up for 3 and 4, but Egan's really fast. Oh boy, here we go. 3 wide for the lead, and let's bring the 32 and the 59 into this, and it's 5 cars within 0.8 of a second of each other.
And all 5 of these guys could win here tonight as well. Now, Kirsten has the best advantage. She went out later than all these guys, and she's going to have the fresher tires at the end of the cycle. So if you're Paulus, you're Bryce Egan, you want to get her cycled out so she's a few seconds behind by the time we get to the end of the race. But if she stays up front, she's going to have this advantage and be at an advantage throughout the rest of this race. So it's going to be hard to beat her the way this is going, but all these guys are guys who could have multiple wins by the end of the season. I mean, Kirsten and Blaine are going to have multiple wins by the end of the season. But Bryce Egan, looking for his first career win. Just think about what he's doing right now with Blaine Keys, Nicholas Sambadio, Kirsten Bell, Daniel Paulus Jr., all winners in the Wawa Cup Series, and some of the multi-time winners. There goes Paulus trying to get the race lead here. Looking to the inside down the backstretch. Looking to the inside into turn number 3. Trying to get that 93 loose in the corner. Paulus has yet to lead here tonight. He has not led a lap. He's going to try to get his first one of the night. And across the line, he's still not going to quite get it, but he will have the inside going into turn 1.
Ooh boy, belts tight, pedals down. This is going to be an absolutely cinematic finish, as it usually always is here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. It's been a great race so far, and it's just getting better and better as Daniel Paulus Jr. is going to clear for the race lead, and we might potentially go 3 wide for second.
How
Big
about
move
him?
From the 59, a Nicholas Samadillo trying to make his way through the field, and you know who else has joined this battle is the Team Williams cars, as Avery Alford has now closed in to the 9 of Bryce Egan with Duncan Ward not too far back, and not too far back from that as well, you got your points leader, the 98 of Travis Crampton.
Got a lot of guys who can win this race here tonight. You got Blaine Keys in the mix, though, and you know he's hungry for his first win of the season. You know Paulus is hungry. And Matt, I know you can attest to this. Daniel has taken this seriously with you guys at Team Velocitar. And when I heard that, I knew that moments like this were going to happen with this team. He's got an opportunity getting his second career win in the Wawa Cup Series tonight, and really building some momentum in an attempt to make the chase and even go for the championship here in the Wawa Cup Series. I think you guys have an absolute chance with Paulus, but you got Blaine, you got Kirsten, you got Nicholas Samadillo. Mr. Edge is in town here in Homestead-Miami Speedway. Bryce Egan there, Duncan Ward, Avery Alford, Travis Crampton. Any of these guys could still win this race. But Daniel Paulus Jr. trying to hold them off here. Got 21 laps to go in the Wawa 400. Blaine Keys trying to get to the inside for the race lead right here. Will he have a nose down the backstretch? Not quite yet. And Paulus remains out front single file here at Homestead.
See, the one thing I think if you're Blaine Keys, you got to do this quickly, because I'll actually throw this back just about a week and a half ago to the Stock Car World Cup race that Scott McLaughlin won at Kansas. He got that 3 or 4 lap overcut, and they could not pass him on the last run of the race. So if you're Kirsten Bell in this 93, I mean, you got that 2 lap overcut on Blaine Keys. You got a lap overcut on Paulus Jr. You can almost sit back there. You don't have to jump on the gun right now. I say that, and she might try and go 3 wide for the lead here.
She might be jumping the gun right now.
She might. But if you're Blaine, you have to take advantage of this now, because he is going to be on the worst tires 20 laps from now.
And you are absolutely right about that. And how does Blaine manage it? That is the big question. Paulus is doing an excellent job hanging onto the outside lane and keeping Blaine behind him. And he's doing great here. And Daniel Paulus Jr. is a guy who's, I mean, almost want to say he's been in purgatory for 2 seasons. He's so much better than what he has had in equipment. He had a good ride last year. I mean, let's put it that way. But Trackhouse has had a great season this year, and they're not a bad team. But his first season, and him and Roland Orn, those are 2 guys who, they started at maybe one of the worst teams. They just didn't have anything going for them in 2023. Both of them, and Rogel's kind of had a tough season this year, as I alluded to, but you know how good of a driver Rogel is. I think Daniel might just be just as good of a driver. I'm talking a lot of good things about Daniel Paulus, and I think he is going to have a lot of wins throughout this season, and tonight might be the first one of many. But how about our points leader, Travis Crampton?
Hello.
He just found himself in a battle with third. He was 8th not too long ago, and now he's side by side for third with Bryce Egan. Duncan Ward, Nicholas Samadillo getting into each other right there. Avery Alford trying to go back-to-back in this Wawa 400. Andrew Williams, regardless of the fact, has got to be loving what he's seeing right now with both his full-time guys running top 10. Then you got Bruno Diacomo, Nathan Smith. They're both in the top 10. Isa Nichols is 11th. Thomas Troxel, Alex Senventali, Angel Gutierrez, and then even further back, you got Jack Haas, Tanner Parton, Laura Chung. Ludovic has not had a good night. She's just not been up there. She is 18th right now in that 51 machine, and not exactly we would expect her to be up front with these guys. That has not been the case so far here tonight. But how about Travis Crampton? He's up to third now. Got around the 93 of Kirsten Bell, who's slipping back a little bit. Got around Bryce Egan. This 98 may just be the fastest car in the racetrack right now. How about Travis Crampton here in this Wawa 400? Remember, he got that win in Michigan at the end of last year, kind of out of nowhere. This guy has a lot of speed with NS Racing, and he may just be the best driver at this point of the season.
He just absolutely reeled in to the 32 of Blaine Keys. That car has been on rails so far here during the second run of the race. Like you said, he just might be the fastest car on the racetrack right now as he tries to take a peek underneath the 32 of Blaine Keys. Not quite going to get it there through turns 3 and 4, but maybe potentially trying to set something up here for turns 1 and 2. Keys slips up just a little bit. Crampton trying to pull to the inside, and it looks like he might be there going down the back straightaway. Have to see if he can stay at the quarter panel going into 3 and 4. It looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. And Travis Crampton now looking to try and take that second position away. Oh boy, this would be a big win here for Travis Crampton if he could pull it off. We have a lot of drivers up here that would be huge wins for them if they were to win here tonight. Goodness, this is shaping up to be a crazy finish here from Homestead.
And Bryce Egan is still in the mix as well. Kirsten's actually fallen off a little bit in that 93. About a second and a half off the race lead now. Still going to be a good finish if things stay this way for her. It's too far back for anybody else, but kind of interesting to see that, and you would expect her to kind of have the advantage now. We still have ourselves 12 laps to go. Those tires could switch off in her favor, but Travis Crampton, he's got an opportunity at winning this race here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Trying to close in here on Daniel Paulus Jr. for the race lead. Grattan Racing Technologies, they've won 3 races so far this season. Both of the mile-and-a-halves have been won by a Grattan Racing Technologies driver. Daniel Paulus Jr. is going to be the 4th GRT driver to win a race this season.
Oh.
And one of them isn't even Ludovic Charette. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see how it all ends up shaking out as this race goes along. That 98, though, is flying. It may not be GRT power tonight. Hate to break that one to you, Matt, but that 98 machine is very fast for NS Racing here, the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Listen, I mean, if we can't get a win tonight, I mean, we're in a much... I think if you're Daniel Paulus, obviously we want to get this win here in under 10 laps time, but even a second or a third here tonight, I'm not going to go home crying with how bad a start to the season we had. I mean, I said at Atlanta, I felt like he had a winning pit strategy at Atlanta to potentially win that race, and then the motor blew up on that car, and it just blew up, and it literally blew up in his face. But that 54, the one thing I've noticed about the 32, he can't diamond that, like, middle, that, there's 2 lanes here at Homestead, and the 54 really, the 54 and the 98, I don't know if we're on the same development strategy that the 98 is, but the 54 and the 98 seem like they can roll that in between the top and the bottom just so much better than the Toyotas and the Chevrolets have been able to tonight. And that's why, I mean, you're seeing them pull away here late. Egan and Keys are starting to fall off a bit, and I have been surprised, to just touch on it real quickly, Kirsten Bell's tires have not, her tire advantage has not switched on here. I mean, she had 2 laps on Blaine Keys. I mean, you got to tip your credit to Blaine Keys, but I don't know if this 98 overcut or if he just, like, decided that he was going to turn into prime Max Verstappen, because he is all over the back of this 54 car.
And he's going to the inside for the race lead, and he's going to make it look easy. Points leader, Travis Crampton to the race lead with 7 laps to go in the Wawa 400 here at Homestead. And a great run there for Crampton, but it's not over yet for Paulus, and he let that 98 by very cleanly. But that 98, like, to your point, Matt, he may have overcut, and we just didn't quite notice it, and he may just have a full advantage. But Paulus is going to have a shot back to the inside. A good corner, though, for Crampton. And the 98 is single file, clear out to the race lead here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Paulus still not letting that 98 getting away, just staying in the tire tracks there. And, you know, we could potentially, knock on wood, close in on a little bit of lap traffic here. Got
Alexander Rowe
a little bit off the pace up ahead. The 14 of Alexander Rowe. Have to see if these guys do catch him, but if they do, it could definitely be really interesting to see how they handle him. But Paulus here, he's not done yet. He's just hanging in behind the 98 of Travis Crampton, maybe trying to save a little bit of his stuff, maybe trying to set up for a move with just a few laps to go. We'll just have to wait and see how everything plays out. But regardless of the fact, that was a great move there for the lead by the 98 of Travis Crampton. And if you're Crampton here, you just want to try and hold off that 54 and don't run your stuff out too much.
Travis Crampton has easily been the best driver up to this point this season, looking for his 5th top 5 in 7 races and his 6th top 10 in 7 races. Only one race he did not finish top 10. And he has definitely been the class of the field early on, and this is a driver who we talked about last year, was very strong at the end of the season, and we knew if he makes the chase, he is good. He was actually a championship contender in the finale in 2023. Watch out for Travis Crampton and NS Racing. Are they this year's Blaine Keys or Ludovic Charette? Paulus is slipping back just a little bit. 3 laps to go here at Homestead. To your point, we do have Allington Rowe here in the 14 up ahead. That's a GRT car. Will the GRT car help the other GRT car? That's the big question.
I think he's going to actually hurt the 54 because that 98, I think the 54 might have used his tires up a little bit too much there, but I think that 98 is going to catch the slipstream from the 14, and that's just going to allow him to sort of maintain that buffer. Granted, I honestly think the 98's has just been better here on this run to end the race. As we see, I think it's Philip Torres had an issue down pit road.
Yeah, Philip Torres has been out for a while, unfortunately. Tough break there for Torres in the 52. And Angel Gutierrez just had an issue in the 36.
Oh no.
Oh, that's a shame. He had such a good run going for him. Not going to work out. Well, hey, this race is not over. Look at what Paulus has just done as we come to the white flag here in the Wawa 400. And all of a sudden, they're side by side for the race lead with 1 lap to go at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Paulus trying to work the inside. He couldn't hold it there, but if he does that same thing again in turns 4, he's going to have an opportunity of winning this race. Good run here for Travis Crampton tonight. Good run for Daniel Paulus Jr. It's going to be a win regardless for either of these guys. Paulus trying to close in on the 98, but it's not going to be enough. He had a shot. He didn't quite have enough at the end. Travis Crampton wins the Wawa 400 here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway and extends his points lead here in the Wawa Cup Series.
Ooh, wow, that came out of nowhere. My goodness. How in the world did the 54 caught all the way up to him? He made up 3/10 in a corner. My goodness.
Regardless of the fact, Daniel Paulus Jr. has a lot to be proud of, and this is what we expected out of him this season. Bryce Egan with a top 5. He ran that thing in the top 5 all night long. Kirsten Bell's going to get 4th. Nicholas Samadia with a top 5. I'm sure you're happy about that, Caleb. Through the season
sir.
he's had. That's actually Samadia's first top 5 of the season.
Wow.
It's only Travis Crampton's 5th top 5 of the season. These are the guys to beat. These are absolutely the guys to beat. And I said at the top of the show, this race is a race where the best drivers run well. Well, that was absolutely the case here tonight. And what a race it in fact was. Caution-free here at Homestead. We did not need a restart or a caution to make this race good. And that's what makes this place so much fun. And this is why we're coming here for the penultimate race of the season, adding an extra race in that penultimate weekend. Same weekend as the Valvoline 400 at Daytona, but we're coming here after the Valvoline 400 and setting up the finale race with a race here at Homestead. And if you're Travis Crampton and NS Racing, you got to be loving that, because if you're in championship contention going in the 2 races to go and you come here after what you did here tonight, you're going to have a good opportunity at winning the title. But what a race, guys! That was fun. That was cinema. And Travis Crampton put on a show here tonight at the Homestead-Miami Speedway.
Man, what a race here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Goodness, this track, man, let me tell you. This track absolutely cooks just every time we come here. And another great race to add into the history books here from the Homestead-Miami Speedway. Honestly, I'd go as far to say an absolute classic here for this season's Wawa Cup Series races. A spectacular race here, a spectacular finish, and a spectacular drive by a lot of drivers, including the 98 of Travis Crampton. A spectacular win from here. Shout out to Daniel Paulus Jr., though. That was a great run. Like Matt said, I don't know how he got that crazy run through 3 and 4 coming to the white flag. Honestly, kind of gave me shades of Ricky Craven in Darlington in 2003. He pretty much probably just used about every ounce in those tires left to cut down to the inside. That was a great move from Daniel Paulus Jr. there. Still, a great run from him regardless. And, shout out to a bunch of other drivers too. Of course, you got the 59 Nicholas Samadia, like you said, finally getting his first top 5 of the season. Finally getting the ball rolling there for that 59 team. Awesome to see. And, of course, Bryce Egan, Kirsten Bell, Duncan Ward with another good run. Blaine Keys Alfred, Nichols, and, shout out to Bruno Giacomo. They've had a pretty quiet season heading up into this, but despite it being quiet, they have had a spectacular season, coming in third in the standings.
They're going to be second.
And coming home with another top 10, yeah.
Crazy
season so far for Giacomo. They could potentially be a dark horse frontrunner.
Well, I think something, I don't know if everybody has been able to see this, or Stewart does this on his own, where he broke down the points through different segments of the season last season. And if you broke down the points through the chase, not just amongst the chase drivers, but amongst everybody on the grid, Travis Crampton was, I believe, either first or second in the last 10 races of last season amongst the points scores. So he clearly, he is no fluke. He has very good pace, like you said, Alex. He was a championship contender in 2023. If he made the chase last year, I think he might have had a shot to go for the championship. Daniel Pauls Jr., that's a great run for him. That should be his third or fourth top 10 on the season, but he's starting to build momentum and get into that wild card hunt. A win is coming for him. Isaac Nichols and Sam Adio from the back of the grid into the top 10. Thomas Truck's a great day. Yeah, Avery Alford has been quite good here. I have to give him his props. We talked about how that last season went for him in the 52. He's in a much better team now, and he's got a great teammate too, by the way. This tandem that Team Williams has, the 23 and the 13 running with each other every week, that's how you win a Constructors' Championship, folks. Ludovic Charette, my pick to win, nowhere to be found today. I'm quite surprised by that. Matthew Huber, also nowhere to be found, but I'm not surprised to see Crampton and the 54 up here doing what they did today. And I think Crampton's this is a hot start to the season.
Very much so. This may actually be one of the best starts to a Wawa Cup Series season out of anybody. And Nathan Stapleton is a very good owner. It's obvious. He runs the rating series himself. That's an advantage. That's why we, expect Rut Racing to run well as well, though Joe hasn't done as long as I have, or Nathan. He doesn't know as much. He's going to learn a lot running his own rating series, but very fascinating race here. Very fun race. Dare I say a bewildering race to mess with my man Andrew again. He got 20th. That's not bad considering how strong this field was and how good all these drivers ran. What a race. Travis Crampton absolutely earned that one here at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. What a drive at the end, going from 8th to 1st, just past everybody, and was like, watch out for me this season. I'm not going anywhere, and I don't think he is going anywhere. We'll have to see what he does next week, though. Totally different ball game. We head to Martinsville, shortest track on the circuit. That's always a wild race, but that's another race where we tend to see a lot of the strong drivers run up front. Jack Haas won that race last year. A lot of the strong drivers tend to run well. We especially tend to see Pacific Racing and ERR do well on the short tracks. They might be back up there again. We're going to see a lot of fun racing next week in Martinsville. It's going to be a lot of fun, as it always is. STP Old Dominion 500 next Friday night, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, as a matter of fact, right here on AEG, the channel. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thanks to Caleb Rose and Matt Tuck for joining me here tonight for this Wawa 400. Travis Crampton gets it done at the Homestead-Miami Speedway. And he is going to extend that points lead even more as he won this race as the points leader. That's the best thing to do in a championship series such as this, to win the race as the points leader, and Travis got it done here tonight at Homestead. Thank you guys so much for watching once again. Here are the points for the Wawa Cup Series after 7 races, and on behalf of Caleb Rose and Matt Tuck, I will see you guys later.